They thought it was safe to use the facilities, to primp and to preen. But little did they know that an unseen evil was lurking in the shadows, a flesh-eating killer, constantly breeding, propagating, devouring, just waiting for a chance to strike. Its name is bacteria, and if you could increase its size thousands of times and put a face on it, it might look something like this.
I am Backy the Bacteria, and I am here to make your life miserable.
It is against this most populous and merciless enemy that all courageous and valiant custodial warriors are being called upon today to fight without cease in what we will call Bacteria Warfare, the custodial battle for a clean and safe public environment. Did you know that there are approximately 10 times as many bacterial cells as human cells in the human body, with large numbers of bacteria on the skin and in the digestive tract? As a matter of fact, humans have approximately 3.5 pounds of bacteria living in the intestinal tract.
Gross!
Yes, Jan, gross indeed. But although the vast majority of these bacteria are rendered harmless by the protective efforts of the immune system, and a few are beneficial, some are pathogenic bacteria and cause infectious diseases. These include cholera, syphilis, anthrax, leprosy, and bubonic plague. Bacteria was first observed by Anton von Leeuwenhoek in 1676, using a single-lens microscope of his own design. Using his handcrafted microscopes, he was the first to observe and describe single-celled organisms. He first discovered bacteria by scraping bits of tar from his teeth and looking at it under his microscope.
Gross!
But it was Louis Pasteur who, in the late 1800s, began to recognize the connection between bacteria and disease. Pasteur was an early advocate of the germ theory of disease, and due to the findings of himself and many scientists after him, we now understand just how dangerous harmful bacteria can be. An article published in 1998 by the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention stated that in 1995, approximately 88,000 deaths, one death every 6 minutes, could be attributed to hospital-acquired infections. Today, news of cross-contamination and outbreaks is everywhere. One that continues to cause concern in hospitals and educational facilities is a bacterium that has come to be known as MRSA, or methicillin-resistant Staphylococcus aureus. Staph is itself a common bacterium that in the past has been successfully treated with common antibiotics. However, over the years, several strains of staph, such as MRSA, have become resistant to these antibiotics. In 1961, at the same time that Henry Mancini and Johnny Mercer's collaboration Moon River was awarded the Grammy for Song of the Year, MRSA was discovered. But MRSA was no huckleberry friend. As a matter of fact, over the succeeding years it became immune to methicillin, penicillin, and many other antibiotics. Today, MRSA continues to challenge the medical profession as it constantly adapts and becomes resistant to more advanced and expensive antibiotics. The challenge this presents to the cleanliness and safety of public environments is clear. As recently as June 2008, cause for concern has been voiced by the American Society for Microbiology. In a report published nationwide, evidence was presented from a study of public restrooms along America's highways. Researchers collected swab samples from places people normally touch in public bathrooms, such as restroom door handles, toilet stall handles, sink handles, and the like. The results were shocking. They showed the presence of many different bacteria, such as staph and E. coli. Sure enough, MRSA, with its potential for life-threatening infection, was found in 10 of the 47 samples taken. These recent findings coincide with separate findings in a study done by the National Sanitation Foundation. This independent nonprofit organization also conducted a study of public washrooms in a variety of facilities across the United States. Their findings were equally shocking and downright disgusting. In the study, washroom hand contact surfaces were also tested. Areas such as faucet and flush handles, soap dispensers, doorknobs, latches, and paper towel dispensers were evaluated for microbiological content. The study found detectable concentrations of aerobic bacteria on nearly 86% of the surfaces sampled. The highest microbial counts were detected on surfaces that are generally wet or damp. Additionally, 6 out of 20 soap dispenser samples showed coliform bacteria. The total coliform count is widely used as an indicator of hygiene and may suggest the presence of fecal contamination. Let's put this plainly. When you're reaching for soap, you may be getting poop.
Gross!
The point is this. After washing their hands, restroom users are leaving their germs behind, and those germs can be harmful to all that use the facilities after them. These findings are an important indicator that the two most common methods for determining the cleanliness of a public environment are no longer viable. See if you can determine what these two common, unreliable methods are by watching the professional actors in our next two scenes.
Oh man, this place is disgusting. Oh.
Well, were you able to figure them out?
What?
Did you bother to pay attention? Number 1 was a simple visual inspection. Number 2, the odoriferous assessment. While these two formerly tried and true methods contain clear warning signs of an unclean environment, they do nothing to ensure that bacteria levels are within safe parameters. This is where a knowledgeable and diligent custodial team becomes instrumental. They are on the front lines in the war against bacterial infections. To ensure that a custodial team is knowledgeable and diligent in this warfare, it is important to dispel some common myths about bacteria and infection prevention. Myth number 1. All disinfectants are created equal. Fact. That is wrong, you lying liar. There are currently more than 8,000 registered disinfectant products for sale in Canada and the US, and these products may be formulated using 300 different types of chemistries. Remembering a few simple guidelines can be very helpful in this regard. First of all, inspect the labels of your cleaning products to determine their effectiveness. What does it kill? Are these bacteria relevant to your facility? This cleaning product, called BioClean and made by Sunburst Chemicals, is a scientifically proven bactericidal agent in destroying all of the following organisms. It is important to carefully read product labels to determine the full power of a product and know the particular bacteria, viruses, and fungi that the product is registered to kill. This brings us to another common myth. Myth number 2. Once the product hits a surface, you can consider it disinfected. Fact. If we took that same attitude with our daily showering routine, we'd probably all look and smell like Mr. Gary Busey. And what kind of world would that be?
Gross! Gross!
Yes, just as cleaning and washing our bodies takes time and effort, so does cleaning and disinfecting the surfaces people come in contact with on a daily basis. Sunburst Chemicals BioClean has a recommended 4-step process to be fully effective against bacteria. Number 1, pre-clean the heavily soiled areas, wiping away solids and other contaminants. Number 2, thoroughly wet the surface with the product. Number 3, allow approximately 10 minutes of contact time. And number 4, for direct contact surfaces, i.e. countertops and sinks, wipe or rinse the surface clean. Following these simple steps will ensure the product's effectiveness in the war against bacteria. Myth number 3. We don't have a bacteria problem because we clean our facilities regularly. Fact. Remember the statistics mentioned at the outset of this film. All the facilities mentioned had a regular schedule of cleaning and maintenance, yet still bacteria were found thriving on many common surfaces. This is due to a variety of causes. Number 1, improper or insufficient cleaning techniques. Number 2, constant cross-contamination. And number 3, standing water. Cross-contamination is happening constantly. As we use our hands, we are constantly picking up bacteria and moving them onto every surface we touch. Just like a soccer mom, we are constantly picking up and dropping off filthy little critters all over town. Recognizing the drop-off points for bacteria can greatly help us in controlling cross-contamination in our facilities. Take a look at this bathroom for a moment. How many cross-contamination points can you see here? You may want to even pause the video and see if you can identify them all. Think back to the studies we mentioned at the beginning of the film. How many did you find? Let's use the magic of Backyvision and see where they appear. Uh-oh, looks like Backy has been a busy boy. Are you surprised? Remember, some of that bacteria comes from you-know-what.
Gross!
Gross indeed, Jan, but recognizing where bacteria thrive can aid us in waging war against it in our daily cleaning routines. And remember, bacteria don't just hang out in the bathroom. They are everywhere. Everything in your facility that is receiving human contact is likely a breeding ground for germs and should be part of a regular disinfecting routine. This brings us to our last point for consideration: standing water. Even on surfaces that appear to be clean, infectious bacteria can live and thrive for hours and even days. But bacteria especially thrive in moist, humid environments like toilets, sinks, and even showers. Soils and skin particles washed away from the human body provide a rich source of nutrients for most microorganisms. By understanding these simple facts and principles, you can be like Amber. Tired of bacteria creeping up on her, she is taking a stand and fighting back in the war against bacteria.
Don't mess with me, Backy.
Disinfectant, no!
May you and your filthy progeny cease to exist for all eternity.
Yes, Amber enjoys killing Backy and all his little babies. Sometimes, when she's really quiet, she even imagines she can hear the bacteria screaming in pain as the disinfectant penetrates its cellular cavities and slowly drains the life from its tiny body. She does this because she's a little twisted, but also because she knows that she is doing her part in the war against bacteria. Will you? Yes, by following these steps in the war against bacteria, you will be increasing the health and wellness of all that use your facilities. Yes, you will be superheroes in the never-ending custodial battle for a clean and safe public environment. And you don't even have to wear spandex, unless you want to, and it's cool with your boss, and you've got the figure for it.